Huge news for Xenoverse 3. Yes, we just got a new Xenoverse 3 trailer, which I had no idea was coming out today, right? This was very random. Like, I wasn't expecting any new news for Xenoverse, like, at all, right? Some people got to play the demo at Summer Games Fest, which I completely forgot about. And the next time that you, yes, you will be able to play Xenoverse 3 will be at DreamCon. That's going to be July 10th to the 12th. And I'm going to be kind of going over that in this video as well. Today, we're just going to go over everything that we know in the greatest amount of detail that I could possibly do. I'm not really going to react to the trailer because, like I said, it was random. It wasn't planned. I didn't know anything about it. I would have streamed it if I would have had some knowledge about this. But yeah, we're going to be going over basically just everything that we know down to the combat, the races, and just how Xenoverse 3 is going to be played. Now, I do want to open up with this, right? I do want to open up with this crossplay. Xenoverse 3 confirmed for crossplay. The director for Xenoverse 3 is saying that crossplay is going to be a priority for this game. Thank God. I think we do have to, thank the Dragon Ball Breakers community for this, as they were one of the first Dragon Ball games, right? At least modern Dragon Ball games, to feature crossplay. I really hope that Sparking Zero follows suits with this, right? I think this is a great opening for Sparking Zero to eventually get crossplay, right? But yeah, Xenoverse 3, hopefully at launch, crossplay. I'm glad they're making this a priority, because I feel like games, especially in the modern day 2026 and throughout, needs to be crossplay, right? We can only hope that GTA 6, once PC gets it and all the consoles get it, is going to be crossplay, right? We can only hope. But yeah, future games here on out for the future definitely need to be crossplay. So I'm extremely happy for that. We definitely won on this point, right? This might be one of the most successful Dragon Ball games to date. Now, I want to go into the combat system, right? I want to talk about the combat system. A lot of the customizations that you can do are in this room, right? So a lot of things you can do. The room is going to be fully customizable, right? And pretty much there's going to be a lot more customization for this game, and we're going to actually get into that later. But I want to talk about the combat, right? So going into the combat, right, here's all the confirmed races. We have the Frieza race, we have the Earthling race, right, and we also have the Majin race. Now, Indakuba, right, said in a tweet that the Saiyan race is going to experience this. Let me just go ahead and look for Indakuba real quick. Let's see. If we look at his tweet, right, if we just scroll down here, he says, oh, as Saiyan's created character users, you'll get to experience this with transforming the Super Saiyan 3 for Xenoverse 3, right? And he said he saw this at Summer Games Fest. Now, based off of what I saw, right, especially in the trailer, right, and if y'all seen it in the trailer too, I don't think there's going to be a dedicated Saiyan race. I just think Earthling is going to be a hybrid, because like a lot of these aspects are taken from Dragon Ball Online, which we'll also cover as well in this video, right? There's a lot of interviews that the director of Xenoverse 3 did. But yeah, based on what I've seen, there's only going to be an Earthling race, and the Earthling race is going to be able to transform into the Saiyan transformations. Now, the only reason why I say this is because they did the same thing with Dragon Ball Online, and with Dragon Ball Online, the humans, or the Earthlings, the race, right, those were Saiyans, right? Basically, the created characters, the Earthling created characters in Dragon Ball Online, I might put up some references. The created characters for Dragon Ball Online are hybrid Saiyans. They have very diluted Saiyan blood, and in the story, right, the lore behind it is Gohan left a book on teaching the now hybrid Saiyans of that time, right? Because Dragon Ball Online is within age 1000, right? So that's why, since they're similar timelines, a lot of people are asking, like, oh, is it going to be similar, right? Is there going to be some similarities? But yeah, so the lore behind that is Gohan left a book and to teach the Saiyans, right, of that time period, the Hyper Saiyans, how to use their ki and how to basically unlock their Saiyan DNA, all that type of stuff, right? Gohan left the book. So I think he's referring to that. I don't know if there's going to be a dedicated Saiyan character, right? I think it's just going to be Earthling, and the Earthling can choose to go Super Saiyan or use the Super Saiyan transformations if they so wish to, right? And in this segment, we're definitely going to go over some of the aspects of the trailer, right? But after that, I'm basically going to start off by just talking about the combat. All right, so let's go back to the combat here. So as you can see from here, it's basically the wheel, right? The attribute wheel is pretty much the same as Xenoverse, right? You have your strike defense, and your blast defense, and then just basic attack overall. And the whole reason why, and this is the Earthling class, by the way, this says Earthling, and the reason why I said that these are technically hybrid humans is because John 1000, right? You're the created character for the males and the created character for the females. They're both here, right? This is John 1000's player model, right? And he's in the Earthling category, right? If it was a separate Saiyan category, his hair would definitely not be white. It would definitely be black, right? Because Saiyans have dark hair, right? There's only one recorded Saiyan that was in the Broly movie with dark blue hair, right? But I digress. Saiyans have dark, black, brown, or just dark hair in general, whatever, right? So that's why I'm thinking they're taking a play out of Dragon Ball Online's book and saying that is going to, and we're going down the route of hybrid Saiyans or Earthlings or just hybrid, really diluted hybrid Saiyans, right? Just think of your Goku Juniors and your Vegeta Juniors. They're 16th and 8th Saiyans, and they're able to turn Super Saiyan, right? Saiyan DNA is really strong, by the way. I might make a separate video talking about the Saiyan genetics. I am planning on making a video talking about the science behind the Super Saiyan, so that will come out pretty soon. And this aspect right here, right? So whatever, based off of the combat, right? Depending on your character, depending on which soul that you choose, that will be the why Trunks looks so short in this, by the way. But whichever character that you choose, right? And especially if you go back to the gameplay, I'll put down a link in the description for the gameplay that we have. I think it's from Globeku. Whichever soul character you choose will be the person that appears like in this area. I'm thinking this is the bottom part of your house or whatever, right? Whatever soul you choose, that's the person that's going to be here. All right. So you'll be able to talk to him, interact with him, and just going off of the trailer a little bit, right? We were wished here, like how Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2 was. We were wished here. That we were brought here by a wish because Shenron talks to us in the beginning of the trailer and saying, "Can you hear me?" And then Bulma is like, "Who are you? How did you get here?" So we were wished here, right? So that's why I say it could be a possibility where there is a Saiyan class. Like I said, I'm not too sure. Maybe Indakuba is just trying to lead us off so that way it's not a surprise, whatever, right? But yeah, let's go into some of the combat here. Now, it's going to be there's 4v4. I heard there's going to be 4v4, but there's 4 people that you play with instead of 3. So one extra person this time. So 4 people play with you, and you get to fight. This is like the boss fight, and I think they're fighting Broly. Now, something very interesting here. All right. And I'm going to show you guys in a second with this YouTube video. So you have your standard attacks, right? You have your standard attacks, but you still have to choose a key charge, right? So you still are going to have to charge your key to be able to use certain attacks, right? So what I was hoping for is that they completely took that away and they just gave that to you as a standard move so you don't have to put it into your attribute or your moves wheel. You're still going to have to choose a key charge, right? You're still going to have to charge in some sort of way, right? So they're bringing that back. And here, it's kind of blurry a little bit, right? But as you can see right here, the 2 attributes, right? And I'm going to get to more of that into a second because in the YouTube video is a more clearer image. But you have, so it looks like there's 3 abilities, right? One being your soul, right? The person that you turn into. And then you have 2 ultimates, right? Now, I don't know if one of these slots for transformation has to be taken up, and I'm so glad the soul thing, right, it's not locked, like the fighting customization is not locked behind souls, right? That's why I was a little bit scared of, because when I saw the John 1000 turning Super Saiyan and he hit that Super Saiyan Goku pose, I was like, oh no, please tell me that the fight customization isn't locked behind souls. Like I say, that might have killed the game. That might have killed the game, because a lot of people would have complained about that, right? But I'm glad it's not like that. I'm so happy it's not like that. Like this is definitely something that took a turn, because I would have never expected this. And y'all gonna be surprised in a second here, right? Seeing using one of the moves, right? But if we go here, right? This is I don't want to mispronounce that, but as you can see, not only do you have your soul buddy, right, the person that you turn into, but you also have a mentor attack. So I don't know if this means you have two souls, and I'm guessing your stamina bar. I'm guessing this is a stamina bar. I don't know what this bar is. This bar might be the stamina bar, or this might be the key bar. I'm not too sure. But y'all can go ahead and look at these videos. I'm going to link all the videos in the description, right, for you guys to look at. I'm just kind of breaking down everything and not kind of like reacting to it, because I'm kind of late to the party. But it seems like you can, like, the soul that you turn into, right? And when you turn into the soul, I'll show this later, but when you turn into whatever character you want, whatever soul that you have, you turn into that character, your whole moveset changes, right? So not only do you have your soul, but you also have an ability to fight with your mentor, which is completely different from Trunks. Like, as you see, this person has Trunks selected as a soul, right? Excuse me. Has Trunks selected for his soul, but then Vegeta's right here, right? So I'm guessing you can have up to two people, or some of the moves that you can do. I'm guessing you could have a mentor, and then you could also have a soul, right? So I'm guessing whichever fighting style, I'm guessing what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to train with somebody, right? You got a mentor, you train with them, and then you get their fighting style, and then once you get to a certain level, you're able to do a dual attack with your mentor, and on top of that, have a soul. That's actually, what I thought was gonna happen is whichever soul you have, that's the person you can do this attack with. I was not expecting for this to be a whole separate mechanic. This is actually very interesting. I'm very curious on how this is going to work in game. I know for a fact that this whole gimmick, this whole game mechanic, is something that is right. Like, this is something that's tied to the story. Like, this is a mechanic that's a plot device for the story. 100% this is supposed to be a plot device for the story. I know it's supposed to be a plot device for the story. But yeah, it looks like you could have a super attack or ultimate attack that's separate. You have two ultimate attacks, which is normal, right? We've had that since Xenoverse 1 and 2. And then you have your soul ability, which you turn into the character, right? And then you're limited. Once you turn into the character, there's a limited amount of time that you could turn into the character, which I'll show. But yeah, but it seems like there's a lot of stuff involved, right? So I'm glad the customization is not linked to the soul. That's so freaking good. I'm glad they did. I'm glad they went with that decision, because if that was the route that they were going to, I guarantee it would have killed the game, because us Dragon Ball fans are picky. They're gonna nitpick the shit out of that. Like 100%, they're gonna nitpick that, and it would have brought the game down to the ground. Hey, more fun for me, I guess. I'm still playing this game regardless of how it works. But yeah, so this is just more like screenshots of the game, and you can go look at this at a different, like, a YouTube videos. They have all this stuff. This is the Japanese version of it. So it works just like how Xenoverse works. Nothing really too crazy. Now, we just need to understand like how the campaign is going to work. My guess is the bad guys that we're fighting, they're using souls for evil, and we gotta stop them. Like, whatever, they're probably using the souls of villains like Cell, Boo, Frieza, and they're using them against us, so we gotta use the souls of the good guys to beat them. I'm guessing that's how the story is going to go, right? I'm still questioning how Bulma is alive. I really hope they explain that. I really hope they explain that in this in this storyline. But we can kind of read these a little bit. It's not really too much, but okay. The stage is seamlessly connected, moving using the flight technique. Okay, this is just the basic attacks, just kind of just explaining everything. This is just explaining the event. They're fighting Broly, Super Broly. Right, nothing too crazy. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about too. Okay, guard piercing pierces through enemy's guard and deals damage. All right. Stamina draining greatly reduces the enemy's stamina. I'm guessing that's like a stamina break. Not too sure. Break critical supports break critical, which can deal massive damage. Support. So I'm guessing the character you summon is a support. But yeah, if we're looking at these, I'm guessing certain moves can also do this. All right, this is just the combat system. Right, you can read more about this on Phoenix's Twitter. But yeah, so it looks like there's going to be some similar game mechanics to how Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2 play. So like there's going to be some sort of skill gap to where like you got to plan out your attacks and know which attacks to do to break your opponent, so that way they're stamina broken or ki broken, whichever is the case. Okay, the curved gauge next to the display character. It's okay. That's the stamina gauge. So I was correct on that. That was the stamina gauge. And if you look back, I'm guessing the maximum is 5, but it's probably could be more after you upgrade your character. So I was right about that. Likely effective way to deal damage. The stamina draining techniques reduces the enemy's stamina drain. Okay, it's like a stamina break. So these are just different techniques we could do just to like do combos, right? And this is this is another thing that I want to show. I mean, he kind of explains it a little bit here. Okay, once the soul change gauge is filled, you can activate soul change, which allows you to summon the souls of warriors who appear throughout Dragon Ball series. Fight by borrowing their power. Okay, so also throughout the awakening skills that prepare the previous aid could not be experienced during the demo play session. So there's awakened skills too. I wonder how that's gonna. Okay, maybe because maybe there's another maybe the awakened skill is gonna be down here, and then you can turn to Super Saiyan. So they might release that to be. Now he did say they showed it, so if we go to one of these events, we might be able to see it like firsthand. We might be able to see it firsthand, but it seems like they don't want to have it for the demo because they want to release it probably for they probably want to release it for a trailer, which I'm guessing is going to be probably the next one. But yeah, we get an awakened skill. Okay, is equipped. Race Saiyan. When an awakened skill is equipped, a Race Saiyan character can transform into a Super Saiyan. For example, this transformation is incredibly okay. So there is going to be a Saiyan race. Okay. And again, maybe like I said, maybe the Earthling, maybe the whole Earthling thing is mixed with Saiyan. I don't know. Right? We'll see in the future. Right? Although awakened skills are pure in the previous games, they could not be experienced. Okay, that's just something. Character selection start the game. Okay. So I'm guessing they're not allowing you to choose a Saiyan character. So there is a Saiyan character. Okay, so here, as you can see, it's a time limit for the soul change, right? Again, this is a very interesting mechanic. But yeah, you have a time limit for the soul change. So there's a limited amount of time for you to do it, and then after you're done, I don't know if you could do it multiple times per match, or maybe you can only do it one time per match. But yeah, okay, there is going to be a Saiyan race. I'm hoping it's not just hopefully it's not just Super Saiyan. Hopefully you can do the God transformations, Ultra Instinct. We could do Beast. Okay, now I kind of want to get into some of the interviews here. The person asked, "Will we see characters from the content Dragon Ball GT, also Dragon Ball Daima, crossing over into the game's launch?" The director says, "Because of our sandbox is rooted squarely in the brand new timeline within Age 1000, we are explicitly bridging the gap past anime series and spin-offs. It's closely guarded as a secret for now. However, the future settings give us a clean slate to incorporate elements elegantly. So stay tuned." 100% they're doing it, right? Like, what Dragon Ball game is not doing that? Every Dragon Ball game in the history of Dragon Ball games has incorporated every single continuity into the game. Let's just be honest. They're definitely, because they're Soul, so they're obviously going to drop characters. I really hope it's not a gotcha. I really hope it's not a gotcha thing. I really hope you could just get the Soul that you want, and it's not a gotcha thing. If it's a gotcha thing, damn, it might be in DBL again. I don't know, but yeah, they're since there's a Soul to Souls mechanic and you can transform into these characters. Most definitely, they're putting all the characters in there. But can we transform it to Super Saiyan 4? That's the question. And which Super Saiyan 4 would they choose? Would they choose Daima Super Saiyan 4 or GT Super Saiyan 4? Or would they do both and it's a different, and they do different things? There's a lot of possibilities for this game. Okay. Toriyama actually worked more closely with Xenoverse 3 than Dragon Ball Online. Let's take a look at this interview right here. Okay. The question, this might be a deep cut, but Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 takes place around the same time as Dragon Ball Online MMO in Age 1000. Will there be any similarities in the structure of the story between the two games? And then the director says, this is one I don't think I can go deep into. He's hiding something. We're definitely getting some secrets. I can say this world of Age 1000, unlike the MMO, is something that Toriyama Sensei has worked a lot on. From the lore to the settings to the world to the character designs, we are not drawing from the online. We're not drawing from the online version as much as we are building from this ground up using the resources Toriyama left behind, right? So there's most likely going to be some similarities, obviously. Like, there's definitely going to be some Easter eggs. Because if you guys don't know what Toriyama does, right, especially for Dragon Ball Daima, he used a lot of the resources from the guidebooks to kind of create Daima. Like, we already knew about the Demon Realm. We already knew about the Glen, right? We already knew about the fruit trees that they come from, right? We already knew all that if you read the guidebooks, right? He just reused those assets into Daima, right? So I'm guessing a lot of those assets that he's using from Dragon Ball Online is going to be in this game, right? Obviously not the whole main story, because like the Dark Namekians and all that, like Cell X, like all that stuff, right? Because Dragon Ball Online was deeply connected to Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2. Xenoverse 3, although it has the same name as the other Xenoverse games, the only aspect that this is similar to in terms of Xenoverse is that you get wished into this world by Shinron. So this game probably has no connection, at least timeline-wise, to the other Xenoverses. Until we get to that last DLC in Xenoverse 2, we are probably never going to find out until then, right? Xenoverse, the final DLC for Xenoverse 2 will tell us. Now, 20 to 30 hours of story time for Xenoverse 3. Let's go ahead and take a look. Fair enough. Can you touch upon the project length of the game? How many hours are players expected for the story? And what does multiplayer volume look like at launch? All right. For the standard playthrough of the main story, players can expect roughly to 20 to 30 of the cinematic campaign content. Yes, go. A long campaign. We love to see it. Depending on their pace on the multiplayer side, the launch volume is already massive. But our long-term plan is to treat this as a living world. We are preparing a robust post-launch roadmap packed with community events, drops. Don't tell me gotcha. Please don't tell me it has gotcha elements in it. And constant content updates to keep the community thriving. I really hope they're not trying to pull a DBL on us. Please don't let it be a gotcha. If we gotta work for them souls, bro, I mean, I'll do it, right? It's a way to get us in the game. Gotcha games always work. Gotcha games are always profitable. But oh my god, man. Dragon Ball Legends already takes so much money out of the pockets of Dragon Ball fans out there. We don't need another gotcha type of thing in here, please. But yeah. Let's see some other things. Okay, let's look into here. Personal identity has always been the heart of the Xenoverse series. We could tell by our character customization upgrades around. Character customizations is absolute core pillar of this franchise. Players want to express who they are and want they entering the Dragon Ball universe. To facilitate that, the range of customization options of Xenoverse 3 is significantly wider than the other two games. This mechanically extends heavily into fighting styles. We already know that. Into past entries, player builds felt rigid. This time we want to incorporate highly specific combat desires. If you want to play as long-range zoning style like Frieza or an aggressive close-range brawler like Goku, our unique team tactic resonance of the Xenoverse, resilienceness of the Xenoverse, right? The suits built to support these individual preferences. We will definitely get that. And we already kind of know, based off of the soul, like the soul mechanics and the whole. I'm glad that the soul mechanic is not the main focus here, but it's just an additional gimmick. So it looks like we're going to be able to fight different styles outside of the souls mechanic. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Again, here's the roadmap. If you want to be able to play the demo yourself, it's going to be at these events right here. The first event that it's going to be at is going to be at DreamCon Houston. Now, I do want to be able to get my hands on and make some content about this, but it's going to be like, all in all, it's going to be like $300 to $500 to be able just to play this game. I don't know if going to DreamCon specifically just for Xenoverse 3 is the best move for me. I think I'm going to just wait for the game to come out or just do reviews on people who play the game there. But, hey, if you guys want to go to any of these events, because I don't live in Texas, if you guys live Houston, anywhere in these areas, definitely play this game. Definitely play the game and post about it and let me know. Let me know how it is, man. Like, I'm excited, right? A lot of the places are going to be in California. So everybody in California is lucky as hell. If you live in California, everything is there. Everything is always going to be in California. Man, y'all lucky. Y'all are extremely lucky. Okay, now I kind of want to go into the trailer a little bit and kind of talk about some of these characters and what I've seen and noticed inside the campaign. Now, if we look at this character named Tap right here, Tap is an obvious Saiyan, right? He has a Saiyan tail, and we see a little bit of him inside the trailer. I'm going to go ahead and try to pull it up here. And I'm kind of just mute it, but if I could find it. What I've seen, right? I'm kind of just going to kind of break it down a little bit. If we go here. In this specific area right here.
Turns their back on a person in need. Right, sidekick.
All right, we see Tap.
Begins the first chapter of our heroic saga.
Look. We're probably going to have to fight Tap. We're probably going to have to fight this man. This man turned to a great ape, and we're going to have to cut his tail off, right? And this is specifically part of the campaign, right? My friend told me that, well, what if we are fighting like Great Ape Vegeta or something? You know, I don't think that's the case because this campaign is more specific about our character and our story rather than the stories of previous events, right? This is a completely new story, handcrafted, right? This is its own story, right? We're not going to past events and stuff like that like in the other Xenoverses. This is, I'm calling it now, this is Tap. We're going to have to fight Tap in some sort of way, and we're going to have to beat this man, right? Tap is going to be some sort of antagonist at the end. He's not going to be able to control his Great Ape form, right? Now, again, like I'm going to reiterate it again, right? Like I said, the only reason why I believe that, if I could find it when he turned Super Saiyan, where did John with it? Like the only reason why I think the humans or the Earthlings are also Saiyans as well is because, like I said, John 1000 is in, like, his character model, the base character model is in the Earthlings category. is in the Earthlings category. It is in the Earthlings category, so that's why I think they're doing the same thing as Dragon Ball Online, and they're pulling Dragon Ball Online. And I think that's pretty much everything I want to talk about. Again, I will link the trailer, I will link this, and I'll also link this. Right, I'll link all these videos, people talking about the campaign. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think about Xenoverse 3. I'm really excited for this game. I think this game is going to do amazing. Right, there's just so much. They're promising more customization. And look, like there's so much content. Also, additionally, you're going to be able to mess with your body type. So you could be skinny, you could be fat, you could do a bunch of stuff, right? You'll be able to do everything here, right? So yeah, let me know what you guys think about Xenoverse 3. Are you guys copying it? Are you guys not going to cop it? Right? I know a lot of people are going to have speculations because it doesn't really look like or feel like the original 2 Xenoverse games, right? But we already knew that this Xenoverse was going to be something completely different than the other 2 Xenoverse games, right? I really hope the community actually gives it a chance and not shits on it, right? I'm already seeing a bunch of people shitting on it already, saying that, oh yeah, I'm going to save my money. But give it a chance, guys. Give it a chance. Like, give every single Dragon Ball game a chance. Like, Dragon Ball Get Kid Squadra. A lot of people were like, it's a lane fighter, right? It's fun. Pretty fun game. Anyway, I'm excited for this game. Y'all should be excited too. Don't judge a book by its cover. Wait until we see more stuff about it or be able to play it with yourself. Like, go ahead and go to these events and give it a try for yourself, right? Yeah. So I appreciate everybody who watched to the end of this video, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover, anything else, and I'll see you guys on Xenoverse 3 in the next video. Peace out. Peace and love to everybody out there. See you guys next time.